Welcome back to Everyday English Podcast, where we help you navigate life without the stress. Today we are going to fix the single scariest moment in a restaurant, when the waiter makes a mistake. Imagine this. It is 7:45 p.m. You are hungry. The waiter puts your plate down, smiles, and walks away. You look down, and it is definitely not what you ordered. Your heart starts racing. You don't want to be rude.
I actually did this once in London. I ate a mushroom risotto even though I hate mushrooms, just because I was too scared to call the waiter back.
Don't eat the mushrooms. Today we are giving you the 3-step polite complaint formula to fix any problem with a smile.
It sounds funny now, but at the time, that mushroom risotto situation was genuinely stressful. I sat there looking at this bowl of rice, and I kept rehearsing what I wanted to say in my head. I wanted to say, "This is wrong," but every time the waiter walked past, he looked so busy and stressed that I just froze. I ended up eating about half of it and then paying the full bill.
That is the classic learner trap, Tom. We call it the nice customer paradox. You want to be a good customer. You want the staff to like you. You do not want to be the difficult person at table 4. So you accept bad service or the wrong food. But here's the secret. Polite complaining is actually a language skill. It is not about being angry. It is about using specific grammar to soften the blow.
Exactly. I think my fear was that if I complained, I would sound aggressive. In my own language, I know exactly how to say it gently, but in English, I felt like my only options were, "this is bad," or "I don't like this," which sound very blunt.
That is because English, especially British and American English, relies heavily on what we call polite fiction. We use extra words to pretend that we are not actually complaining. If you learn these patterns, you can send back anything, a cold soup, a burnt steak, a wrong drink, and the waiter will actually like you more for it.
That is a big promise. You're saying I can complain and make them like me more?
Absolutely. Waiters want to fix problems. They just do not want to be yelled at. If you use the right softeners, you become the nice, understanding customer who just had a bit of bad luck, rather than the angry customer attacking them. So let's break this down into 3 steps. Step 1 is what I call the softener signal.
The softener signal. What does that mean?
It's how you get the waiter's attention. Most learners do this wrong immediately. They wait for the waiter to pass by and they shout, "Excuse me."
I have definitely done that. "Excuse me, is that wrong?" It is polite, isn't it?
The phrase "excuse me" is polite in theory, but it depends entirely on the tone and volume. If you say it loudly and quickly, "Excuse me," it sounds like a command. It sounds like, "Hey you, come here." It puts the waiter on the defensive before you have even mentioned the problem.
So how should we start the interaction?
You want to use an apology entry. You are apologizing for stopping them. The best phrase to use here is, "Sorry to be a pain," or "Sorry to trouble you."
Sorry to be a pain. That's interesting. You're apologizing for being a problem even though they are the ones who made the mistake with the food.
Exactly. It's psychological judo. By saying "sorry to be a pain," you are acknowledging that they are busy. You are signaling, "I'm not an enemy. I'm just a person who needs a tiny bit of help." Another great one is, "Could I just trouble you for a quick second?" "Could I just trouble you for a quick second?" That sounds very natural. It lowers the temperature immediately. Right. Compare these two. Option A, "Excuse me, come here." Option B, "Hi, sorry to trouble you." Option B definitely makes me feel more relaxed. It feels like we are on the same team. That's the goal. Once you have their attention with the softener signal, you move to step 2. This is the most critical part, and it's where the grammar comes in. This is called the passive observation.
The passive observation. Does this have to do with the passive voice in grammar?
It does. The biggest mistake learners make is using the word you. They say things like, "You made a mistake," or "You brought the wrong food," or "You forgot my drink."
It's true, though. They did forget it.
It is true, but it is accusatory. When you say you, the listener feels attacked. They instinctively want to defend themselves. "I didn't make a mistake, the kitchen did," or "I wrote it down correctly." You want to avoid that conflict completely.
So we need to remove the you from the sentence.
Yes, we blame the situation, not the person. Instead of saying, "You brought the wrong soup," you say, "There seems to be a mix-up with the order."
There seems to be a mix-up. I love that phrase. Mix-up is such a gentle word. It sounds like a mystery that happened by accident rather than someone's fault.
Precisely. And notice the grammar. There seems to be. We are talking about the existence of a problem, not the cause of the problem. Another great one is using I think as a shield. Even if you are 100% sure you ordered the steak, you don't say, I ordered the steak. You say, I think I ordered the steak.
That is so British. I think I ordered the steak, when you know for a fact you did.
It gives them a way out. It allows them to say, oh, let me check, without feeling like you are calling them incompetent. So let's practice a few of these. Tom, imagine I just put a coffee down in front of you, but you ordered a tea. If you say, you gave me the wrong drink, that is a fail. How do you fix it with the passive observation?
Okay, I would say, oh, sorry, I think this might be coffee. I actually ordered a tea.
Perfect. I think this might be coffee. You are observing the object, not attacking the waiter. What if the food is cold? Do not say, you served me cold food.
I would say, sorry to be a pain, but this soup is a little bit cold.
A little bit. That is the magic phrase. We call these diminishers. Even if the soup is freezing cold, completely frozen, you say it is a little bit cold or it is slightly undercooked.
If I say it is freezing, it sounds like an exaggeration or a complaint. If I say it is a little bit cold, it sounds like a small detail we can easily fix.
Exactly. You are minimizing the problem so the waiter feels confident they can solve it. So we have the softener signal, sorry to be a pain, and the passive observation, there seems to be a mistake. Now we need step 3, the solution ask.
This is where we tell them what we want them to do about it, right? Because sometimes you complain and the waiter just stares at you.
Yes, you need to close the loop. But again, you cannot use imperative verbs. Do not say, bring me a new one, or take this away. That is an order. We want to ask for a favor.
So we are back to our modal verbs. Could, would, can.
Could is your best friend here. Could I possibly trouble you to change this? Or would you mind popping this back in the microwave for a minute?
Popping this back. That is very natural phrasing. To pop means to put something somewhere quickly, right?
Yes. Could you pop this in the oven? Sounds very low effort. It sounds like a tiny request. If you say, reheat this immediately, it sounds like a demand.
I see the pattern here. The whole strategy is to make the problem seem tiny and the solution seem easy.
That is the secret to great service in English. You minimize the drama. Let's try to put this all together in a role play. This will help everyone hear the tone, because the tone is just as important as the words.
Great. I will be the customer. You be the waiter. Let's do a hard one. Let's say I ordered a steak medium rare, but you brought me a steak that is well done. It is gray and dry.
Okay, that is a high-stakes situation, because steaks are expensive. You definitely can't eat it, but you might feel bad sending it back. I am walking over to check on you. Hi there, how is everything tasting so far?
Hi. Sorry to be a pain, but I think there has been a little mix-up with the steak.
Oh, what seems to be the problem?
Well, I asked for medium rare, but this one seems to be a bit well done. It's just a little too dry for me. Could I possibly trouble you to switch it for a medium rare one?
Oh my gosh, I am so sorry about that. Let me take that out of your way and get the kitchen to fire up a new one for you right now.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
No problem at all. And scene. Tom, that was textbook perfection.
It felt much better than just sitting there being angry. I noticed I used, I think there has been a mix-up, and it seems a bit well done. I didn't say you burnt it.
And because you didn't say you burnt it, I felt empathy for you. I wanted to help you. If you had said, look at this, it is ruined, I would have felt defensive.
One thing I struggle with is the timing. Do I do this immediately when they put the plate down, or do I wait until they come back to check on us?
If you see the error immediately, like the steak is clearly the wrong cut or the sauce is wrong, say it before they walk away. Oh, sorry, just a second. I think this might be the wrong plate. It saves everyone time. But if you don't notice until you cut into it, like with the steak temperature, you have to flag them down. And that brings us back to the excuse me problem. Flagging them down is the hard part. Eye contact is key. Do not snap your fingers. Please, never snap your fingers. Just make eye contact, raise your hand slightly, not like a school student, just a small wave, and wait for them to nod. Then, when they come over, you start with the softener. Sorry to trouble you.
Before we continue to the next scenario, I just want to pause and say that if you are enjoying this breakdown of real-life social English, you should make sure you are subscribed to the Everyday English podcast. We don't just teach you vocabulary words, we teach you the strategy behind the words so you can handle these awkward situations with confidence.
Yes, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a lesson on how to sound natural. Now, Tom, let's talk about a trickier situation. What if the food isn't wrong, it is just bad?
Oh, that is the worst. Like you order the pasta and they brought the pasta, but it just tastes terrible. Maybe it is way too salty or it has an ingredient listed that you just don't like.
This is harder because technically they did their job, but you are still the customer. In this case, you can't say there's a mistake. You have to frame it as a personal preference, but again, use softeners.
So I can't say, this is disgusting?
Definitely not. You would say something like, I am so sorry, but I am not really getting on with this dish.
Not really getting on with. That is a very British phrasing. It sounds like you're trying to be friends with the pasta and it is not working out.
Exactly. Or you can say, it is a little bit too salty for my taste. Adding for my taste makes it subjective. It means the chef isn't bad, I just have sensitive taste buds. It protects the chef's ego.
And then do you still ask them to change it?
You can, but you have to be even more polite. I am so sorry, I hate to be difficult, but would it be possible to switch this for something else? I am just finding it a bit too heavy. Most decent restaurants will say yes.
I hate to be difficult. That is another great softener phrases. It tells them, I am aware this is annoying and I feel bad about it.
Self-awareness wins you a lot of points. Now, there's one final anxiety people have when they send food back: the bill.
Yes. If I send back the burnt steak and get a new one, am I paying for 2 steaks? Or if I send back the salty pasta and get a salad, do I pay for both?
In 99% of respectable restaurants, you only pay for what you eat. They should remove the rejected item from the bill. But sometimes mistakes happen.
So the bill arrives and you see the bad item is still there. That is another awkward conversation.
It is, but the formula is the same. Softener plus passive observation plus solution ask. Step 1. Sorry to bother you again. Step 2. I think there's a tiny mistake on the bill. The first steak is still listed here. Step 3. Could you possibly have that removed? Tiny mistake. Even if it is a $50 mistake, we call it a tiny mistake. Always minimize. If you say, you are trying to charge me for the bad steak, they might think you are accusing them of theft. If you say, I think there's a tiny error, they will usually say, oh gosh, the computer system, I will fix it right away.
It seems like the core theme here is giving people the benefit of the doubt.
That is the golden rule of conflict resolution in English. Always act as if you assume it was an innocent accident. There seems to be a mix-up, implies nobody did anything wrong on purpose. It keeps the atmosphere friendly.
I want to ask about the feedback sandwich. I have heard people use this technique where they say something nice, then the complaint, then something nice again. Is that useful here?
It is very useful if part of the meal is good. For example, let's say your burger is burnt, but the fries are delicious. You can say, the fries are fantastic, but the burger is a little bit overdone for me. That helps because it shows you aren't just a negative person who complains about everything. You are noticing the good stuff too. Exactly. It validates the chef. The flavors in the sauce are lovely, but the meat is just a tiny bit tough. It makes the complaint easier to swallow.
What about body language? We talked about not snapping fingers. What else should we do or not do while we are delivering these lines?
Keep your face open and apologetic. A small, regretful smile works wonders. If you frown, cross your arms, and lean back, you look closed off and angry. Lean in slightly, lower your voice, don't announce your complaint to the whole restaurant, and smile sympathetically. Like you are sharing a secret with the waiter. Hey, just between us, the soup is cold. Yes, it creates intimacy. And here's a pro tip. If they do fix it, if they bring you a new steak and it is perfect, you need to overthink them. Overthink them? When they bring the replacement, say, thank you so much, this looks perfect, I really appreciate you fixing that. And maybe, if you are in a tipping culture, leave a slightly better tip.
That makes sense. You caused them extra work, even if it was their mistake, so acknowledging the effort smooths everything over.
It ensures that the next time you come back, they remember you as the nice customer who had a problem, not the difficult customer.
I feel like I am ready to go back to that Italian restaurant in London and finally order something else.
No more mushroom risotto for you, Tom.
No more. I am going to practice saying, I am so sorry, but this isn't what I ordered.
That brings us to our challenge for this week. We want you to practice the softener signal in a low-stakes environment.
You don't have to wait for a bad steak to practice this. You can do it at a coffee shop.
Exactly. Go to a cafe. When you are at the counter, ask for something extra, like a napkin or a specific sugar, but use the formula. Say, "Sorry to be a pain, but could I possibly grab an extra napkin?" Or ask for water. "So sorry to trouble you, but could I get a glass of water?" Watch how the barista reacts. They will almost certainly smile and say, "Of course." It feels good to be asked nicely.
And it helps you get comfortable with the phrase, sorry to be a pain, so that when you really need it, when the steak is gray, it rolls off your tongue naturally.
That is the goal. We want these phrases to be automatic reflexes, not something you have to translate in your head while you are staring at a cold bowl of soup.
Confidence comes from preparation.
It certainly does. Thank you all for listening to today's deep dive into polite complaining. Go out there, get the food you actually ordered, and be charming while you do it.
See you in the next episode, everyone.